listeners, and thank you for tuning in to what is now episode 7 of the DayLight webcast. As always, at the helm of this wonderful little path and adventure that we've gotten ourselves in, I am your host, Olivier Day. Always a pleasure to be hosting you and accompanying you into this wonderful world of creativity, photography, motivation, and life lessons. As my guest this time around, not a photographer, but a friend, a very dear one, someone I really look up to, someone whose creativity, passion, drive is nothing short of amazing, and somebody who's always fun to talk to. I'm talking about Sarah Bernard. You might know her on the Montreal circuit as a local and phenomenal DJ, aka the Salivation Army. Sarah is no stranger to the game. Sarah has been doing it for quite some time, originating from me, and having made her name quite a few places actually, because Sarah has been around. And it's quite of a candid conversation this time around, totally unscripted, unfiltered, unedited, and well, some editing, but just another saying that with circumstances being what they were, we haven't had the time to actually schedule a proper quote-unquote interview, but it was a very, very awesome conversation, very candid, very open, very uplifting, as Sarah has got such a fiery personality, so unique perspective on life itself and creativity as a whole. It's something that I really thought it was important to share. So we just over us, we were just sitting over Google Hangouts. I just hit record, and the product is basically what you're going to hear in a few seconds. So this is just me saying, already in progress, and hoping that you'll appreciate it as much as I did. And thanks again for tuning in. All information for the recording and the show notes, whether through the video or the MP3, all is available on the website. All links to our guests also available there, on all that fun stuff. So you guys have a listen, and please do share, and of course, enjoy. A long time. You've been at this for a while, just from your perspective. Like, again, as dumb or as cliche as it sounds for this conversation, what got you started? Because being a DJ, it has evolved, obviously. A DJ, went from being like, some just guy, somebody just spinning wax and just turning tables, to an actual entertainer, a producer, a recognized element of the party circuit. You have to, that's why you have your resident DJs now. DJ Jazzy Jeff is just like killing it in Vegas. It's just like, and again, the DJ is like, from the ground up, from what it used to be to what it is now. But tell like about your timeline, like, how did the Salivation Army get started? Like, what was the fire that just clicked?
Well, the Salivation Army started under another name. The Salivation Army actually started in Haiti. It was, and I'm never going to forget this because it was such a defining moment. It was when I first got my permission to go party. And so I go to this party.
In Haiti.
Yeah, in Haiti. I got my permission. I'm going to go party, that guy. And it was back when everybody brought their iPods to the party. And so people are dancing, and somebody's got music going on, and then as I take up, everybody had an iPod, so of course somebody had to stop the song to put in their own, and everybody was doing that. And I was looking at the people dancing, because back then, I was kind of shy, probably still am, but I was mostly observing.
I don't think you're shy, but okay.
And so, seriously though, you know me, But like back then I was just kind of observing, and so I'm observing that people are dancing, and then somebody takes out the iPod to put in their own, and then the music just stops, and you're just like people were getting in the groove, and then the music stopped, and then they had to just kind of like, separate from their boo, or just kind of try to find their groove again. And I just remember feeling like, no, you know what? This is some BS. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna learn how to DJ, because you can't do that. Like I was so mad. I was like, you can't do that to people. Like as I was
cut the song. It's like what are you doing? What are you doing? What do you mean?
Feeling the vibe because you want us to hear your music. Like I don't know. I got really in my feelings about this, because I saw people being really in the groove, and the groove got taken away from them because somebody felt special. And I was like, no, I'm going home. I'm gonna learn how to DJ. This is no. I was so mad, and that's why I am who I am. I mean, obviously there's been a lot of detours ever since, but that's where the Sarah likes to DJ comes from.
It was just sort of a rebellion, or just okay, rather than wait on somebody to do it, I'm gonna do it myself type of thing.
It wasn't even that. It was more like people are gonna y'all are gonna stop killing the groove at parties. Like it was really just clearly people need someone to take control of the decks, not let anybody stop the damn music. Like it was really just I didn't even see it as a rebellion. I just really saw it as like no, clearly this is what people need because y'all rude people are just like killing the groove. Like it just felt like a necessity, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, no, like, this needs to happen because y'all are screwed. So,
so, what, you just packed an iPod, you just started getting your own musical flow?
I went all the way back home. I downloaded me a virtual DJ. And,
wow.
like, I got me was Google, I guess Google.com existed already. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, Google is old. Google is 15 years old. So yeah, I got me a Google.com and a virtual DJ. I found me a crack of the virtual DJ because I was very much a nerd back then. So I had to crack everything.
Aren't we all?
Beats it. So I cracked that. I got me a little crack and made it work, and then just went to work basically, and then. Next thing you know, party at Sarah's basement all the time, and then next thing you know, Sarah come DJ my party. And this is like in Haiti, so it was just like I was very much the house party circuit. But the house party circuit in Haiti is where you start.
It's kind of a big deal. You can, your name gets around.
Like, at l'époque, you could. Well, I didn't have rent to pay, but like back then, you could stay there and make some legitimate money. Like, it was a job. Like even if you were just playing people's house parties, you never had to see the inside of a club.
Even back then you were networking?
Well, not really. Back then, see, this is the thing that like people don't really know about me. Like I never really networked, and I never really depending on what networking means to you. Like for me personally, the way that I see people use the word networking is like you put yourself out there and you kind of put your business card in that person's hand, and then you get them to call you. But for me, it was just kind of always like my phone rings, Sarah, come DJ my party, and I'd be like, yeah, all right, sure, I guess. Like for me personally, I'd be throwing my own parties in my own basement, like much to the dismay of my mom, I'm sure. But as for doing other people's parties, I was always kind of surprised to get the call. First be like, who this? Like, how you get my phone number? You want me to what? Oh, all right, word. Like,
sure, I'll be there.
Yeah, and like in Montreal, after not DJing for a while, not even telling people, it was a thing I liked to do. And then when it became here too as well, a thing that I like to do, it was the same thing of like, Sarah, come DJ my party. And I would just kind of say yes to everything because I never really, when I came here, I didn't move here and set out to be the Salivation Army and to do all this thing. Like, people really see me as some kind of like, person who came to take over the scene. Girl, I did try no such thing. Like, I went for it.
It was not a plan? It wasn't something you set out to do, for real?
Girl, I got a call. What I wanted to do, I never really thought it would get big. What I really wanted to do was it was kind of the same feeling of that first time when somebody killed the party and I was like, no, these people need the party. What are you doing? You're so rude. It was a little bit of the same feeling, but it was just like, I would go out to clubs in Montreal and I didn't like the music and I didn't like the vibe. Like, I didn't feel safe just wanting to go dance. You know how in Haiti, like, we dance, we throw down.
Yeah.
When I try to do that here, I just felt it was just a bad scene, Like, I just didn't feel right. Mm-hmm. And the music I didn't like. No shade to the rest of the scene. It was just, I'm a Caribbean girl, and there are some things that I like specifically, and I wasn't hearing it. And since this is Montreal, you can kind of get a small thing going, like, at this person's loft or at this person's, like, play party, whatever. Like, so I figured if I'm going to play, I'm going to play for my people. Even if my people aren't there, I'm just going to keep playing.
So So that's one thing. That's a good thing you're touching on right there because that's something because when you transition from the Caribbean to the little island we call Haiti to ensure it's a big metropolitan cultural metropolitan that is Montreal, and when you actually have to get there and throw down your beats, how do you balance that authenticity of the artist where you have to play something that you think the crowd likes and what you want to play. Was there ever that battle for you, like behind the deck? Like how do you wrestle with that? Because I know that some DJs like what I don't care what's hot, I'm gonna play what I want, and you people get behind me. Otherwise, other DJs are like what this is what the crowd want, this is what the feel. So I'm really wondering what's going on through your head when you're throwing down.
Well, when you asked me if there was like a little bit of a battle, because I usually would have said no, but then I remember when I first started playing here, and like I tried to shake that reputation very, very fast, and I don't know if I completely managed to do that. What I used to do is play because I came up in the queer scene. Well, actually, I came up in the gay scene. Like it veered towards queer, but like I really, really came up with the gay scene in Montreal, and like I would try to play things that like would appeal to them as a way to get the party going, of course, because I always kind of view myself as like very much on the outside of it, despite the fact that in some respect I do belong in, or I was supposed to belong in there, or whatever. Anyway, I still felt a little bit outside, so I tried to kind of make them happy since they were the ones who would book me, and then I couldn't keep that up for more than like 15 minutes, like I can only give you your answers for so long. Like I could weave it into it, of course, always. I will always like try to bring a little bit of something for you, but that's not my whole set. That'll never be my whole set. If you got me for an hour, girl, you're gonna have like 50 minutes of the Salivation Army. Like, I'm not even sorry. Like, if you didn't want it, you should have called somebody else. So I think at the beginning I used to play electro. Like I used to find the elements of what I loved in music that wasn't my thing, So I would play French electro, but I would always find some of those tunes have like sick beats, I gotta admit, Some of these tunes got sick bass, and so I'll find those ones. Like I'll find, some Swedish, like I don't even know what they would like label it as a genre, but like I have a lot of Swedish music on my computer that goes off. And so I would just like play some of that, just kind of take it from a little bit of everywhere, and that way I'm not, and I don't want to use something as simple as like selling out, but like I'm not just copying and pasting what you expect from a dance floor based on the audience, but I'm also not compromising what I like at all. I thought that this went off, so I played it, and this goes well into what I like, so now it's time to play what I like. Like you kind of have to, you don't have to be I'm going to play top 40 because this is where I am. Well, maybe it's easy for me to say that, but I feel like you don't really have to be all or nothing. It doesn't have to be I play for me and me only, or I play for the club and the club only. Like there's other ways to make the crowd happy. Like, you can't be a DJ if you don't make the crowd happy, but you don't have to compromise everything that you like just to make the crowd happy. Like, the crowd doesn't want this specific song. The crowd want this kind of beat right now, and then that kind of beat later on. Like, that's what you have to read. They don't want what's on the charts yesterday. They just want something that makes them hype, and then something that makes them wind down sometimes, and something that makes them want to drink, and then something that makes them get up off the wall. Like, it's way more vague than people realize. It doesn't have to be, Rihanna right now. It doesn't have to be Shmurda Dance. Like, it's a feeling. It's not a song.
So would you say your instinct has evolved over the years with reading the crowd, like you said?
Well, I mean, with practice, anything, right? So I have a feeling, the thing about me is that was probably the one ability that I had, was to be able to read the crowd. Because sometimes I look back and I'm like, there is no reason that I've got to the place that I got to. I mean, clearly, yes, there are reasons. But sometimes I look at it and I was like,
you're talented.
Thanks. I just mean, like, thank you, now. I just mean, it's surprising when you look at it, like, just me trying to play the music that I miss because I didn't live in Haiti anymore. And for that to like get so far, I really feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that when I look out, like we probably had this conversation before, like I have too much empathy for my own good. Like I understand how you feel from looking at you. It's not really good for me, like in real life. But on the dance floor, it's very, very useful. So I can look out at everybody and kind of see, okay, they're feeling a little hype right now, or I've been making them jump around for too long. They kind of need to chill a little bit. I could always see that. And again, like I was saying before, it's not a specific song that does it. You just kind of get a mood of like a musical mood going. From the hype moment to the chill moment to the like let's get some drinks, like you just kind of, if you just look out and see it, which I guess I was able to do from John, that makes it way easier for you to do your set, for you to make, because your job as a DJ is to make sure everybody has a good time, so that makes it extremely easier for you for everybody else to have a good time. And I think that's the basis of me, really, is that I could look out and see what people were feeling.
As a creator and a producer, it's not just about putting different tracks together, mixing them down, checking out the BPM, just playing the next track. I'm sure there's a lot of creativity that has to go into it. What would you say? How am I trying to put this? Okay, basic example. Because the thing is, I'm going to take Light the Night as an example. When we collaborate, when I show up, and basically it was just so much fun to show up in the club and you're playing dancehall, Caribbean music, and there are so many different types of, and I'm going to say like, different faces, different cultures, and they're just embracing the music. Music is so universal, and that's what's so beautiful about the power of a DJ. And again, you can play music people have never heard before and they'll still have a good time. How do you choose your sets? How do you know what's gonna work? Even though you're coming up to a festival, like either the reggae festival, you might play compa or something. Like, how do you take chances? How do you take chances still? And how do you dare?
Well, because of exactly what you just said, music is universal. Like I feel like a lot of people might be worried they don't know this, because people can also tell how you're feeling. Like if you go into, like, okay, example you just used. You go into a festival, you're the little Haitian girl, you start playing compa. But if you go in feeling like they don't really know this music, but this is what I want to play, you're kind of hesitating and you drop it. People are hesitating right back at you. Like, I know it didn't used to be like this before, but right now, especially as a DJ, if you're a DJ and you're playing a festival, it literally means that the audience is like this. But like this, I mean they're looking at you. It's not always like that. Sometimes it's the club and they don't even know who's DJing, and that's a good feeling or whatever. Or sometimes it's a club plus you can see the DJ. But a festival, it's basically a DJ concert. So everybody's looking at you. So if you go in and you're like, nobody really knows compa, I'm going to drop it anyway, people are going to be like, oh, what's this? And they don't really know why, but it's because you kind of weren't sure about it. So even if you mixed it in perfectly, it's kind of, there's something about the way that you do it, the way that you look or whatever, that makes it a hesitant mix. But if I'm up there and I'm getting my life and I'm thinking, they don't know this song, but it's going to go off, and like, you can see it, because I can see people looking straight at me as I'm playing sometimes. So sometimes I take huge risks. I'll play songs that like for 20 seconds, no bass, no nothing, vocals. People are just like, okay. But the way I'm looking at my face is just kind of like, wait for it. So people start, you can see them. They're like, oh, okay, I'll wait for it. And then it goes off, and then they're like, oh, yeah, you told me, yeah, okay. Yeah,
I feel you. Like, okay, I'll buy in. Like, I got you.
Exactly. Like, you can't forget that, you can't forget about the audience. See, that's the danger of being the kind of DJ who's like, I'm only going to play for myself. Like, I've walked into some bars, just trying to bar hop with my friends, and seeing the kind of DJ who does that, who's just like, I call that a masturbatory set. Like, you just clearly playing for themselves and himself alone. You can tell that it's not for you, but it doesn't feel good. because even the way the bars are built, like like in several cities, like especially Montreal, the bars are built for you to walk in, look at who's DJing, and be like, am I into this? Am I not? And if you walk in and the DJ is ignoring you completely, like not just as a person who's walked in, but just as a musical feel, you know? Like if there's four people there and the DJ's playing something that doesn't match at all, you can feel it, and then you don't feel welcome, and then you
Oh,
leave.
so authenticity is very important to you.
Well, is it authenticity or is it just paying it? Because I feel like it's just paying attention. Like I don't know. I have some qualms with just the word authenticity itself because
Hmm.
I have stayed very true to myself, and you could call that authentic. But who, like, we're not really gonna use, like, would you really walk into a set and like say, okay, this is authentic music? That's not really what you're thinking. You're thinking
Right,
it
it's
goes
true.
off, and then you
That's
start
true.
dancing. I see you,
That's
you know.
true.
Like it's when somebody, yeah, if somebody would say that, the way that I play is authentic or whatever, I feel like I would be a little bit wary because it's just there's a little bit of observation going on there that it takes it to another level. Because all I'm really doing is staying true to what I want to play, but at the same time trying to make you happy.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah.
sense. I want to touch on something, and it's just because of the entire social dynamic of it, because again, I'm just an observant, and I like to observe the circuit. Like again, just looking at the entertainment circuit, I'm sure that as a woman, as a DJ, as an entertainer, I know that as sad as it is, I know that it's not easy. And I'm not even going to go into examples. I'm sure you've had your fair share of misadventures and unfortunate circumstances. But what does it mean to you to actually being able to actually hold a torch, if you will, and actually represent? Do you feel that form of legacy? Do you feel that form of responsibility for other people and that might want to actually dip their toes into the DJ circuit? As a woman, do you feel that, or is it? How do you think that the field is equal, pretty much? Just speaking about Montreal or general places you've seen.
I would never ever say that the field is equal in this year, 2014. Um, I it would take a little bit more self-esteem than I have to be able to be like I'm the one passing the torch. Although there were moments when I kind of felt that, like when I knew I was leaving, I was kind of looking like, oh, she could replace me. And it's a weird thing to say, but like I kind of got this feeling of like, she could be the new me, and like, which means that I recognize myself as like holding a place in this city that maybe needs to be filled. Which, yeah, is weird to think about because I don't usually think about myself in those terms, but I caught myself doing it. I caught myself looking at a couple of girl DJs and being like, yeah, she needs to come up, or she's going to be the next one. This is good. So that means that I definitely, at least subconsciously, have been trying to pass some torches. Um, because yeah, no, it's not a, oh my god, it's not a level playing field at all. I talked about this in depth with Jasmine. I think that might come out sooner rather than later. I don't really know where, but we had a long conversation about it. Just there are so many deterrents. Like if you have like a girl and a boy and they're both like, I want to be a DJ, the girl is gonna have to go through so many roadblocks that it would be like it's almost like a miracle if she makes it through to that first, bar outside, and then she makes it through the next gig. Like it's just, and that's just how it is. I'm not trying to fan the flames of whatever. I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to be belligerent. It's literally how it is. There are so many reasons. There are so many roadblocks placed for you that when you start trying to do this, when you start trying to talk to promoters, you kind of there's a lot of reasons for you to go, you know what, never mind. Like if somebody does that, I couldn't even fault them if they're a woman because there's just so many huge obstacles. So, and that would explain why there are still, again, in this year 2014, like there are still so few people just visible on the scene, like who are female identified and who are DJing. Like it's no surprise to me because even though we say, we're all equal, this and whatnot, the music industry is, well, as with any entertainment industry, all those cards go out the window. Like people are just uninhibited completely because your job is to work around drunk people and hopefully be drunk yourself, and everybody's kind of functioning at this level of anything goes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a woman, if all the dudes start being like anything goes, you can see. I don't even need to finish this sentence for you to know like how quickly it gets a little dangerous. And by a little dangerous, I'm being generous. Like it gets a lot dangerous very fast. Like, so long as people lose their inhibitions, their real selves come out, and there is no women's lib that's gonna save you there.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's not easy. It's like the old adage: you work twice as hard for half as much. Like when you opened the conversation, you said 3 times as hard, and I was like, yeah, no, I ain't mad at you. Like that's probably right. Like you work 3 times as hard for probably half as much. Like, and by probably I mean seriously. Like I've seen myself underpriced, like, like kind of by accident, some emails get forwarded, whatever, and it's like, oh wow, okay, so you literally decided that you was gonna pay me less. That's wow, okay.
Wow, okay. Just like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But like it's almost like people don't even. I mean, I'm not gonna say people consciously say if she's a woman, I'm gonna pay her less. Maybe some people do that, but it's almost like automatic. Like, oh yeah, he gets this much, she gets this much. It's just
makes sense.
And you can't really contest that or really do anything about it. Like, so the second you start speaking out, then you're loud, and loud people aren't liked very much. And so yeah, this is a weird industry because you're all supposed to be friends and buddy and drinking together and so on. So that makes a very hard environment for you to be like, actually, y'all did a thing that wasn't fair. Because it's everyone against you the second that you say that, because everybody else is buddy and drinking together, and what's your problem? Come on.
What's your problem? What are you complaining about? It's like, you're so privileged to be part of this. Like, why?
Exactly, and that's the thing about coming in to a place that is like a boys club, or like a not like when you come into a gate that used to be closed to people like you, people expect you to take the scraps and be happy. And if you start saying, well, actually, this is really not fair, then you kind of get locked out all over again. So it's not. So I can't sit here and tell you, yeah, it's a level playing field. I can tell you that hopefully more people are willing to climb that hill, even if it means they might have to tumble down a few times.
Okay.
But it's almost unfair to ask, especially when you look to your left and then the other, that your co-DJs, if they're male, like they didn't have to do all that. They just kind of bought some decks and practiced, and then somebody was like, ah, dude, I like your shit. And then it just kind of builds up from there, whereas you have to kind of keep putting yourself in unsafe situations. You have to keep meeting promoters and then realizing actually you really don't want to be working with this guy, or you kind of have to take the gig for less money and realize, am I really going to do that? Like, especially these days, I've just been like, okay, you know what, I'm not getting any younger. Am I really going to just break my back for money that doesn't fold? Like, why? Especially when I know if y'all hire somebody else, the budget would not even have been a question. Like, it's not fun, and it's not great for neither my body nor my psyche, so
why?
So it's a lot to ask. When people throw that so much just up in the air, like, why are there so little female DJs? Like, it's not true. There are a lot, but people don't even recognize like how much crap they gotta eat just to for you to ever even see them on stage.
Wow. But with that perspective, I'm just curious, just the way you said it right now. We're in 2014. What would Sarah of today be telling Sarah the upstart? What would be your words of wisdom to Sarah in the beginning? It's like, okay, if you could go back in time and talk to her, it's like, okay, girl, this is what I need you to do.
I think I would tell her to, first of all, stop saying yes to everything. Like, stop saying yes to every gig, girl. What? Get some sleep. And second, maybe actually definitely be a little less trusting. Be a little less trusting. Be perhaps a lot less trusting. And then third, remember it's a job. And I don't mean it's a job like you always, you clock in, you clock out, it's done. I mean, remember that you're doing this, you're providing a service. Like, it's your passion, it's everything, you live for this, but it's also something that you're doing for other people. And it's not, because when you work in entertainment, people kind of flip it on you. They know that you're doing a job, but they treat you as though it's a privilege that they're letting you do your job. And it's a very twisted, almost, it's a manipulative way of, like, getting artists to work for free and getting artists to just want to work for you, even if you know you have nothing to give them in return. So people really do have a way of flipping your own job on you and making you feel like it's they're doing charity by letting you perform. And so I would kind of remind her, like, girl, no, that's not how it works. Like, and this is the thing that I've been telling myself of late, maybe of the past 2 years, maybe 3 years, because of the way that people have been treating me not only as a woman DJ, but as a woman DJ of color. So there's a whole lot of intersections that kind of fly in the face of what people expect. So I've been having to tell myself, girl, you are this party. Like, the second if you press stop, that's party done. That's it. Like, if you decide it's over, it's over. If you decide it's live, it's live. You're the party begins and ends with, well, it begins with other people, but, like, really, like, the DJ is the reason that you're all here.
That's why you're here. That's why you're here. You are the name on the poster. Yeah,
if the DJ stops and bounces, y'all's gonna bounce. Y'all ain't gonna buy no drinks. You're just gonna find somewhere else to go. So, I think I would tell her that maybe actually first and foremost is remember that you are the party. So, like, you can't because people will, like, look at me. People will walk all over me. And so people will try, but you have to remember that you're here to do your job, and this is you. This party is you. Like, when I play a festival and people start getting extra on me, I have to tell myself, this whole, like, thousands and thousands of people out there, like, if you just decide to walk off, they're going to have to find something else to do. So,
there you go.
So what are you really going to tell me? So I wish I had told myself that, like, way back in the day, because I'm telling myself this now. But, like, in retrospect, and also, well, I've told myself this in the face of events just to be able to deal too as well. But it's also it's coming in not too late, but just a little bit late. But I think obviously that's how it works, right? You learn as you go, and then eventually you kind of have this. I think this is what experience is, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. There you go. Perspective and experience, and basically now you know better. Again, we can't take back the years that we lost. I don't think the years that we lost. It's just that, okay, the pages of the books of our lives that we wrote, and we have to go back to those chapters and think about, oh, okay, all right, this is where maybe I can write different pages of this.
Exactly. You started off somehow, and then that's why you have the second edition of the same book in it.
There you go.
You have some footnotes, some addenda.
Lots of re-editions. But, because again, a lot of people don't know this because you're trying to do this basically under the radar. But, like, in just a little under 48 hours, not even, you're basically turning the page and actually saying goodbye to the 514. What's, just in Montreal, like, what are your fondest memories, like, providing all these wonderful sounds and, like, such wonderful memories to a bunch of people in festivals, clubs, parties, underground basements that have had the opportunity to enjoy the Salivation Army? Guys, if you haven't, check out SoundCloud. Her tracks are awesome. I get privileged sets, but yay. But what would be your fondest memories of the circuit so far? Like, what do you think back? What are the best memories you leave with Montreal with?
Oh, I have some really, really good memories. And like you were saying before, honestly, some basement parties done went off. Like, even my first party, I've been remembering it a lot more lately. I don't really know. Well, for obvious reasons. My first party here was at the Eastern Bloc. It was a queer play party, and I was the shyest thing you ever did see. I didn't know how to dress. They told me it was a play party, which is probably where my character, well, not the character, but, like, the Salivation Army's personality comes from a little bit. Because
Mm-hmm.
I just realized, well, okay, it's play party. I'm probably gonna have to kind of like ooh la la a little bit, like some Victoria's Secret or whatever. So I kind of showed up like dressed extremely raunchily, but I felt safe to do that because it was a queer party, and I think it was women only, if I remember correctly. Um, so I felt really safe to dress in the way that was to me kind of not crazy, but just I would never do that until you put me in that position where I was like, well, this is the only way that I can dress, which is to say, with no clothes, barely at all. And then the way it used to happen for the Salivation Army beforehand in Montreal was, and nobody remembers this, but there used to never be other dancehall DJs that would play before or after me. It was me sandwiched between like some house DJs or some just things that sounded nothing like me. And so this is this huge, huge loss. People are trying to have like a crazy time, but the music is just ambience music, basically. No shade to the DJ
Okay.
before me. It was just not getting things started. It just kind of felt like, it was some DXX, it was some just kind of ambient coffee shop your Starbucks music. So I'm looking around at all these people. I'm like, shh, I'm supposed to be the headliner, and ain't nobody dancing. It's like 1 in the morning.
Oh, what
Like,
do I do?
what do I do? So I got me a little hard drive, like full of all the shit I used to play in Haiti, full of it, just dancehall, reggaeton, goodbye. And I'm looking out. There's not a single Caribbean person out in that whole audience. And I don't really believe in anything, but I was like, oh Lord, like, just let this go, okay? Because I cannot. I was like, I'm not about to play nothing else. Like, I play the way I play. I haven't even played since I lived in Haiti. So let's just do this, because I'm thinking something raunchy might get this party going.
Might as well.
And then so I start playing, and then people start getting up off the wall, and then slamming each other into the wall, like grinding, humping, all that. And I'm just kind of looking at it like, did I do that? Like, did I just do that? Did I just turn this awkwardness into finally a party? And not only that, but people, because remember, this was like a kind of a private party-ish. Like, at least it was an invitation-only party. Girl, people were coming in from the street like, I heard dancehall. Who's playing this dancehall? Like, giving me their cards and said, this is my first party in Montreal. And I'm just like, this skinny little girl who's like shivering in her Victoria's Secret.
And you're
But,
killing it.
like, yeah, and people were just like, who's playing this? Like, from the street, like, walked up. Eastern Block is like 4 blocks, 4 staircases. Like, walked up the stairs, like, who this? Here's
Who
my card.
this?
Want to play our party? And I don't know, these days I've just been remembering this a lot because it just kind of, it was so just out of nowhere, it was just like this girl heard I used to DJ, so she was like, do you want to DJ this party? It was this party that like not a lot of people came to, and again, it was an invitation only anyway, and then from there to like, look at it now, I guess, is crazy to think about, but I'm just, yeah, so it's a very fond memory for me because I just think about it, I'm just like, this is wild. This is just from start
You've
to
come a
finish.
long way. You've definitely come a long way, and it's no shortchanging other than your passion and your dedication to your art and something you genuinely care about. And again, we know this as creatives that when you have to wrestle for something you care about, and when even because I'm sure the monotony has kicked in for you, the entire like, do I still want to do this? But you kept going, and the result, the truth is in the pudding. It's like, you are a recognized name and a brand. You are the brand. Every time Pop Montreal comes out, like, I want to look in the flyer. Where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? Where's Sarah? She's always gonna be there. It's like, there's so many places where like, I know her. It's like, it's crazy. But you only have to. I only really like I'm really taking because this is kind of personal because you are a friend and I do care about you and I really want you to understand that you've got so many people who care about you and you've touched by your passion, your dedication, your truth to your art, And again, you're just one kick-ass DJ. I'm a personal big fan of dancehall. As you know, we're always exchanging rhythms over Twitter. But you know, it's really fun to see your dynamic and how you bring this fire to your sets and you know to your creativity. Whether you're there for 30 minutes or the entire night, everybody loves to see her, and that's something that's undeniable. And that's something I really want to congratulate you on. And I just want to know, because again, we're coming up to the top of the hour. I don't want to take too much of your evening, but I just want to know, like, right now, with this next move, like, what's next for you? What are the hurdles? Do you have any regrets, or like, you know, because now it's an open canvas. You're going back home, but it's not the end for you. Come on.
The end. Yeah, it's actually it's a huge question mark, to be honest, because I'm going back home kind of frees me, at least after a few months of chilling and whatnot, and I say chilling, I'm probably still gonna, you know, the Salivation Army will keep going on. I already know that I'm going to play as soon as I get back home. But it also opens all the doors for me. As you know, I just went to New York a couple of times, like once this year and once late last year. And I've been thinking maybe I could be there for a little while. I have some good friends in London. Could be there for a while, and going home kind of frees me up now because I don't have to be I don't have something that ties me down like a lease or you know like I never really had that many obligations in Montreal. Like I could have, but I didn't do that. I just really mainly for the past few years mainly DJ'd really, and now I don't really have to think of one place as where I put my hat. Like I have my home in Haiti, and if somebody wants to book me, they can book me. I'm still open to travel, obviously. I'm constantly looking at plane ticket prices. And I'm also thinking, like when I get home, well, when I've had some rest, because as you know, I'm not going to sleep for the next couple of days. When I've had some rest, I was thinking I'm going to redo my entire website because you were saying before, like the Salvation Army, there is a bit of a branding, and people know what to expect. But like, I never really wanted that to turn me into a product. Like I was supposed to be, you know, I provide services, but I feel like there's been a bit of a twisting of my message without getting too negative or too deep or anything. But I just kind of feel like something went awry in the past couple of years, and that I'm being observed through a lens that removes any agency from me. Like I don't seem to have kind of a choice in how I'm seen anymore sometimes. And I want to use going back to Haiti as a way to kind of like, I don't want to erase the entire drawing board, but I do want to set some things straight. So I was thinking I was going to redo my entire website. It's not really going to look like a DJ website anymore. And it's going to be like, if you want to book me, that's great. If you want to talk about the music, that's great. If you want to talk about, you know, just what it means to be me and performing while looking like me and playing the kind of music that I play, we can talk about that too. Because as you probably noticed on Twitter, like I've gone away from the party, you know, this is the turn up, this is the address, we're so drunk, woo, until like I really talk about shit, and I don't want to censor myself.
Exactly.
Like, I used to do that. I used to have an account that was just, oh yeah, we're drunk, woo, let's party, the turn up is this time, this address, see you there. And like I couldn't do it. Like I couldn't just muzzle myself. Like, I couldn't just have a character that's the Salvation Army, she parties with you, and that's it. Like that.
That's it.
That just never, that was never enough for me. And I always wanted to talk about what the music means, and I always wanted to talk about what I mean, because I mean something too as well. And what people who look like me mean, and what it means to keep playing your music in a world that at first made fun of it and now capitalizes off of it. It's a weird place to be in, and if you don't talk about it, if you don't write about it, people will just put their own truth onto you. And that kind of started happening, because like, I can say as much as I want to say on Twitter, but like in public, it's very easy for like a reporter to come in, take some pictures, and be like, well, she stands for this, this, and that, without saying two words to me.
Okay.
And that threw me off a lot. And I want to use the time I have in Haiti, which is going to be a lot of time or I have some time to myself. It's gonna be a lot of time there.
I hope you do. I hope you do. It helps you to resource and refine that energy to
Yeah,
actually do your own thing. Right? To
exactly.
actually do your own thing. I understand that.
I'm probably going to, honestly, I'm thinking I'm going to write a lot because I seem to have a lot to say. So probably going to write a lot, and I'm definitely, like, the party is going to keep going, but I want to be able to have the party with my message, especially if I'm going to be DJing in Haiti. I mean, I love the country, but you know where we come from. Like, there are a lot of conversations to be had,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and
Definitely. So many conversations. It's
yeah,
crazy. I don't know if we're all going through that paradigm shift because you and I talk a lot, on and off the air. It's 'cause the exact same thing where I'm telling myself, yeah, I take photos, but I do so many other things. Like, I write. It's like, I appreciate art. Shout out to Clovis and
yeah,
CID. It's crazy. I just love this painting. It's crazy.
great.
It's insane. It's insane. It's like, there's so much more than just this little bubble that we've created for
Yeah,
ourselves.
yeah,
My conversation on Twitter is so broad now. It's not just photography. I used to do that. That's everything. Whether check out this photography link, check out this
yeah,
photographer,
yeah,
check out this quote, check out this tip, and check out these photos I took. But
yeah.
I'm more than just my practice, than just my art. And I believe that's where I got lost somewhere in the translation, and I'm trying to rediscover myself, literally. But I totally get your message. Like, you want to write, take the time you need. I'm hoping this is a good chapter for you to actually back up and just like, okay, what matters to me right now, and how do I want to say that?
Exactly, exactly. Especially, and going to Haiti will be really good for me to do that because I don't know if you noticed, but like I started off as a writer. Like
Yeah.
that's how Haiti knows me. That's how Haitians know me. Like I think I might still be the youngest Haitian author. Maybe someone beat my record. I don't know, but like that was me. So when I go back to Haiti, first thing I hear is, "Oh, y a pas de deuxième livre." Like, when is the next book? Like, everybody's just kind of, and it's not that I like the pressure, but I'm probably gonna need a little bit of it, cause we say
It's a
we
good
want.
motivator.
Sorry?
It's a good motivator.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, because you know you want to do it, and it's very easy to just not, especially in a country like Haiti. You can just go to the beach and leave. So it's good to just have a little bit of a push and do the things that you wanted to do. Like Haiti knows me as a writer. Some people know me as a singer. Montreal knows me as a DJ, but Montreal got to know me as a singer slash DJ. It's very weird, but like we have more than one life. We have more than one ability, obviously. And why would I spend my whole life honing in just the one? Like I don't usually talk about myself in these terms, but there is so much I can do. I can do a
There
lot.
is a lot you can do because again, we only have so much potential because we're prisms. We have so many facets that we can project and that we're able to look at towards each other. It's amazing, and that's something that really people need to take the time to experience. Don't just bottleneck yourself into this one thing because you like it or you're good at it. Explore different things and be true to yourself. Be true to these passions that you have. I love that word, passion. It's crazy. My dear, I'm not going to take too much more of your time. I know it's a little bit late, and I would just want to let you go back and get some rest. But thank you so much for sharing this little space with me in this little platform. But it was really important for me to actually, first of all, because again, I'm sorry I took so long to actually make it happen. I owe you one. But as always, why I wanted to do this because, first of all, I believe, again, it's not just to tell you how awesome you are, but because you are, and you know this, but it's also to share upon everybody who got to know you, got to experience you, that, first of all, you're going to leave a serious, serious mark on the scene. And Montreal can only thank you for everything you've done, and every promoter who turned you down made a really big mistake. But again, you've managed to hold your own, actually, because again, it hasn't been easy, that's for sure. And you've had your fair share of things you do not want to go again. But I'm hoping that you leave with a certain message of positivity, and I hope that it wasn't a waste of your time or a waste of your talent, because I really think you have so much more going for you, and that's something I really wanted to say really from the heart, and that's something I really congratulate you on because I'm sure it was not easy. but I'm not saying that just to feel like, okay, like, this gladiator type scenario, but, it is worth mentioning that, it's not easy being a woman DJ in the entertainment circuit, Montreal, Halifax, Boston, New York, wherever you want to call it. I do hope you get to London, by the way. It's you makes it sound really exciting. It's really exciting. But on the last note, just in closing, what would you what does passion mean to you?
Well, see, passion for me used to be you can't live without it. That's how I used to be. That's how I used to view my work as a DJ. That's how I used to view writing. That's how I used to view everything that I was really, really into. That you can't live without it. But I think after a few years of being on this earth, I think I'm gonna have to flip it back around and just say it's the thing that really, while you're doing it, makes you happy. Because that's what I really realized about why I was still DJing. Because it kind of started off as a bit of a hobby. Like, it wasn't I'm going to be a DJ. This is my job now. It was I'm going to be a DJ because these party people are so rude. So it's kind of that's kind of a hobby. And what I realized about doing it here more and more, and focusing all my energy on it, is that if I'm going to look at this as a job, then that means that I've found, how you're supposed to find the job that makes you happy, like all those, I'm sorry, but like those lame inspirational quotes, they all say it. Wait, I'm sorry, I don't want to use the word lame, but just those kind of very cliched sayings.
It's very cliche. It's very cliche.
They all say, find the thing that makes you happy, and then you'll get paid more, or something silly like that.
Yeah, it basically goes, if you find something that you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life, basically. Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry, no, you will have to work so hard. See, this is the thing, when it's cliche, like it just misses big details, because life is in the details. And if you find something that makes you happy, you're going to work so hard for it, but you're going to work hard because you can't imagine not, because you need to do it. Like, because once you get there, it makes you so happy. Like, I sacrificed a lot for, like, some of my parties were, like, I would go there, and you know this, like, I would go there, I would be sick, or I would go there, I would be, like, recently injured, or I would go there, and I would know that I'm working, like, somebody's opening or closing that I don't, that don't necessarily feel great around. But, like, even if it came at a personal cost to me, I knew that the party itself was really important, because people were looking forward to it. But also the way that the people react to the song that they like, or the beat that they're into, or the song that they've never heard before but that goes off, that made me so happy that it was worth all the strife, all the sweat, all the putting up posters in the middle of the night when it's -40. Like, it was worth all of that. And you will work really hard if you find something that you're passionate about. It's just worth it, because it makes you so happy.
I think that's what frightens a lot of people. Again, like, yeah, I'm good at this, but are you passionate about it? That's what I was asking about, because there's a big difference between I like to do this. Do you like it so much that it keeps you up at night? It's like, I don't see myself not doing this. If they took it away from you, yes, you would do it for free, but at the same time, it's nice to get paid for it.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's not about whether you do it for free or not. It's about what you said. If they take it away from you, what's going to happen? And I remember I would get into fights with my family because they didn't see this DJing thing as an avenue for me. And then I realized they were trying to take it away from me, and I flipped out, which meant that it was extremely important to me. Because I could have not. I have so many things to fall back on. I could have just been, oh, all right, well, guess you're right. But I couldn't. I couldn't have that taken away. I still can't have that taken away.
I can't imagine it either. I really, really can't.
It couldn't happen. It's too important. It just makes. I see that I can make other people happy, and that's crazy to me, and I need that to keep happening.
That'll keep happening, man. You've got so much waiting for you. Like, the road ahead of you is so awesome. I can't even see it in far in the horizon. I just want to be there and walk along with you. Just like keep sending tweets. It's just pretty so insane. You've got so many great things waiting for you, and that's the only thing I can say. Just sending you off. Again, you're going back home. have some glucocoye, just have some, just chill, man. Take some sun. Take some sun. Banan Perziglio. I'll relax, man. Seriously. Wednesday, I mean, dear, I can't thank you enough for being here again. I really want to thank you for your presence for the broadcast. It was like really awesome. It's probably right now we're live, but I'm just after a little bit of tweaking and editing and like everything, so it should be up in the next 48 hours, maybe by the time you leave. But definitely it'll be on audio, so probably you'll listen to it on the plane, if you will. But I really wanted to share your message because I know you had a lot to share. And again, your drive and passion is always something that really sets me back. Like it's just like wow, it's so insane, it just blows up, and it's so tangible, and it's something that really needs to be shared. And I hope people can take an example from that, whether in photography and DJing or otherwise. Art is passion, and you really want to enjoy what you're doing. And actually, what you said, I can't even say it any better. Do something that makes you happy, and really, how would you react if they took it away from you? That's what I want to leave you with. But thank you so much again for your time, passion, insight, and professionalism, and all-around awesomeness. So again, I love you very much. Thank you so much. Have a terrific evening. And for everyone tuning in, the website. Just go to Sarah's website. On the Twitter, she's Army Salivation, or was it Salivation Army?
Salivation Army.
It's Salivation Army. Okay, because every time on Twitter, I just never know. But it's Salivation Army. But definitely the links will be in the show notes, so updates will be up in, like I said, in the next 48 hours. So all the information will be there. So I love promoting my friends. That's what I love about them, because they're so awesome. Again, guys, have a terrific evening, and please do take care and always stay awesome. Have a great day, dear.
Have a great night.